What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black Testy EVEE the Black. I'm back, and I'm here to give you my Monday Night Raw review. But before I do that, I need to let you guys know something. Um, so besides yesterday's video about Brandon Brooks, which I have more to say on that, I need to explain where I've been. See, I have this little problem where if I say I'm gonna do something and then I don't do it and I put it off, I tend to get lazy and just don't feel like doing it. So when you guys last saw me, it was right before I went on my vacation, and I said, "Hey, I'm not gonna be able to do the SmackDown review this week, but I'll be able to. I'll be back for the Monday Night Raw review and for my Austin pay-per-view review," which I did neither because I just didn't feel like doing it, and that was my fault. I have a problem with procrastination. Like I really do. Like that's my fault. That's on me. I'm trying to get better, more subscribers, more viewers, and I can't do that when I just I don't feel like doing this today, so I'm not gonna do it. Like this is something that I like to do. So imagine, when it gets like things where I need to do or things I'm supposed to do and don't do them. Like you see, so I'm just trying to work on myself and make sure I don't do this anymore. I gotta stay on top of myself. Anyway, so on to the Monday Night Raw review, the night after Backlash. Here we go. Was it a good show? Was it a bad show? We're about to find out. So, Raw kicks off with Randy Orton. He comes to the ring. He talks about how he won the greatest wrestling match of ever by defeating Edge the previous night. And let me just say this. It was very, very bold for WWE to put this as the greatest match ever, right? Because obviously people have their preference of what that is, and that's typically up to the fans of what's the greatest match ever. And it's very bold of them. So was it the greatest match ever? No, it wasn't. But it was a very, very good match. I have to say, like, very, very good match. I enjoyed it so. The news broke. Edge tore his triceps, I believe. I mean, that means he's not going to be available for SummerSlam, and it could be a while before we see him again. I mean, I think maybe by Royal Rumble time, and that's kind of sad, man. It really is. I'm gonna miss Edge. And then the funny thing is, what we learned out is it didn't happen during the actual shooting of the match. It happened during retakes, and it's just like, why do you need to do retakes? Like, I understand you want it to look good and stuff, but the purity of wrestling is that you mess up, but you can still put on a good match. Like for example, my favorite match is The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25. Not only do I think it's the greatest WrestleMania match, I think it's one of the greatest matches ever, right? But even in that match, what people call pure perfection, there's still moments in there that Shawn might have messed up, Taker might have messed up, the referee might have messed up. So even in that, it's nothing perfect, but even in that, just like how humans, we are not perfect, right? We're not perfect. So I don't understand why I'm going to do this, but whatever. So anyway, Orton says that, him winning that match not only proves that he's the greatest wrestler of all time, and he doesn't need a WWE championship to prove that, and that he is the best. Christian comes out to defend his best friend's honor, but Orton calls him out on it, and he's like, "You're not out here to defend Edge. You're out here because you want one more match." A nice little callback to when Edge and Randy Orton were feuding over the World Heavyweight Championship. Love it. Chris is like, "Nah, I can't fight you. You know I can't do that. You know they won't clear me." And so Edge is like, I keep saying Edge. So Orton's like, okay, well, way around that is we'll have an unsanctioned match. That way you can have your one more match. But if you don't accept, well, then that just proves that you're a coward. And you have to the end of the night. So I thought that was a pretty good opening. Not only did he challenge Christian, but he said the Legend Killer's back. So I did not grow up with the Legend Killer. Well, actually, that's not true. I did, but I didn't pay attention to Raw. I paid more attention to SmackDown than I did Raw, and so, and I wasn't always consistent when I watched WWE, so I didn't really get to see Legend Killer as, you know, excuse me, as he was originally here. But I love the concept of it, so it'll be interesting to see. Will Christian accept? Time will tell. Next up, we had Angel Garza. He's about to take on Kevin Owens in the match. But before then, he talks about how he's in an interview with Charlie Caruso, and she's like, "Well, did you cost Andrade his shot at the United States Championship last night?" He's like, "Nah, I didn't do that." And Selena Vega agrees. Then Andrade comes and he wishes Garza good luck, and he says, you know, but obviously he doesn't really mean it. So then we have Kevin Owens, and they have their match with him and Garza. Pretty good match. Andrade comes out. He and Garza start bickering, which makes Selena very upset, so she leaves. The match continues on. Andrade tries to help Garza win. Doesn't work. Hits the stunner on Garza. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens wins. So now they're bickering back and forth between each other. Zelina Vega comes out, calls them out both on the spot, tells them to get it together, and let's go to the back. So clearly there's tension in paradise. Trouble in paradise. I wonder who's going to turn on who. If I had to guess, I'd say Andrade and Zelina are going to turn on Garza. And maybe that means he turns to face. Because honestly, I really do like Garza. I really, really do. So, we will see where this goes. Next up, Bobby Lashley and MVP come out to the ring. They talk about the match the night before. Talk about how, you know, it was his first WWE Championship match in 13 years, and Bobby Lashley was real close to winning the WWE Championship until Lana came down to the ring and distracted him, allowing Drew McIntyre to pick up the win. Lana comes down, accuses MVP of ruining her and her Bobby's marriage and everything, and saying everything was just fine, but MVP disagrees. He's like, look, if you were doing a good job, then Bobby here would have had a championship match, which he did not. So eventually, Bobby Lashley gets involved. He agrees everything with MVP saying. He says Lana just uses him for his fame and everything like that. But she's like, nah, if I was doing that, I would have slept with someone way better than you. And so that results in Bobby Lashley telling her that he wants a divorce. And that's it. Just walks out just like that. So here's a weird thing, right? It looked like he wanted to defend his wife at first, but then it was just like, nah, I'm done with you. So I think that's very, very well. Obviously, it's been building towards that since Mania, but I guess that's it. So we will see. We will see. Next up, we had an 8-tag team match between the Viking Profits and the Ninjas. So from the night before, the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders were supposed to have a tag team match for the championships. Didn't happen. They ended up in a brawl until the brawl ended up where they had to fight a bunch of ninjas. So they teamed up to form the Viking Profits. They beat the Ninjas. Now, which was led by Akira Tozawa, which now he's back and he wants a rematch. So they have the 8-10 tag team match. Quick work of the match. And then they have a 7-footer ninja. So they're like, yo, what are we going to do to fight this guy? And so they call out the Big Show. Well, it's the Big Show. So the Big Show comes out. He helps get rid of the ninjas. And Garza and his 7-foot ninja, who's not Shaq, who I thought it was. It would have been cool, but it's not Shaq. It's a NXT developmental talent. I don't know his name, but okay. Big guy. So they run off, and that's that. Later in the night, they're in the back, and they're talking about what are we going to do about anything you can do, we can do better. How are we going to settle this once and for all? So the Big Show's like, well, there's only one way to settle this, and that's with a tag team championship match next week here on Raw. So looking forward to that. Next up, Dominic Mysterio. So Seth Rollins comes out, and he's like, look, I invited I invited Ray and Dominic to come to the show. They declined. But Ray comes on the Titantron. He's like, look, Seth, Dominic is there. He's on his way. I didn't know he was going there. Please don't do anything. And so Seth's like, look, Ray, Dominic has two choices. Either he joins me or he gets sacrificed like you. So obviously Ray is threatening Seth, like if you do anything to him, you're going to regret it. But Seth isn't listening. So then Seth gets on his knees and continues to say the same thing until Dominic comes up from behind, takes him down, which leads to Murphy and Theory coming out to try and defend him. But Dominic was able to get away. And then we learned that Ray's coming back next week. So this should be interesting. I wonder how they're going to do this. Is he going to be magically clear? Or is he just like coming to defend his son and make sure nothing happens? We will see. Next up, the IKonics come out and they take on the team of Natalya and Liv Morgan. Another very short match. Liv almost got the team win for her team, but the IKonics distracted the referee long enough for them to hit their double tag team move on Liv Morgan for the win. Afterwards, they knew Sasha and Bayley were there. They challenged them for a tag team match. They didn't come out, so they said they are going to get it anyway, and they challenged them for next week. So will they answer? Let's see. Oh, before I continue on, in the back, Natalya is like riding, getting on Liv Morgan, talking about how it's her fault and her youth and experience, but why they lost. And so she's like, she doesn't get, Natalya here, she's talking about how she doesn't get any respect. She built the women's division and all this. And then Lana comes up and she's like, yo, I feel you on that. She's like, I don't get no respect either. She's like, and it looks like they're feeling each other. So maybe this is a new tag team forming and maybe they could be in it for the tag team championship. So we'll see. Next up, we had Apollo Crews taking on Shelton Benjamin. Before his match, MVP comes up to Crews and say, "Hey, look, congratulations on winning the U.S. title, but you could do better if you had me by your side." But Crews declines. So Crews goes out there, faces Benjamin. Benjamin tries to cheat with using the rope, but the refs catches him. So then when Apollo goes for his pin, he uses the ropes to win, and he retains his championship. So slowly but surely, it looks like that heel turn that I read about a couple months ago or weeks ago about Apollo Crews coming true, because only heels cheat. But, you know, he could be doing anything desperate to keep his championship and prove MVP wrong. So, looking forward to how this goes out. Next up, we had Drew McIntyre and R-Truth taking on MVP and Bobby Lashley in a tag team match for the WWE Championship. So, earlier in the night, Truth opened his mouth for him and Drew about putting both of their championships on the line after MVP challenged them. But Truth was like, yo, I got this. Don't worry. I'm going to fix this. So he comes back and he tells McIntyre, look, so I fixed it, okay? He's like, my championship's not on the line. Only your championship is on the line. And so obviously Drew's mad and upset. And he's like, I don't even have to get pinned to lose my title. And he's like, don't worry. Trust me. I got you. So obviously the story of the match is Drew was trying to end it early, but Truth tags himself in, and then he starts getting beat down. And obviously, Drew's getting nervous because he's like, I could lose my championship. But eventually, Truth is able to get the hot tag, get Drew in there. He finishes them off real quick. Claymore to MVP, tags in R-Truth because he stops the pin. Lets Truth gets the final blow off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre is still WWE champion, and I don't know if that's the end of this feud or not, but interesting way to close out their night for them. So then Bayley and Sasha come back, and they're out there celebrating because it's Bayley's birthday. You know, they got a big week this week. You know, they got to go to NXT and defend their tag titles, and they're going to have a celebration on Friday night with on their brand. IKonics come out and say, look, you can't beat us. We already beat you at WrestleMania last year, which caused y'all to each have your own epic meltdown. And now we're going to beat you again. And to get that title match, they actually slapped Sasha Banks. Bayley gets mad and she accepts the challenge. So next Monday, we are going to have a tag team match for the titles between the IKonics and Bayley and Banks. Banks didn't seem too happy about it, or maybe that's just because she was still getting slapped and her reacting to it. I'm not sure. But we only got about one pay-per-view left before SummerSlam. So hopefully this turn that they've been teasing since Mania happens soon. Because they've been teasing it for years now. And I know a lot of people are getting sick and tired of waiting for it. So, all right, what's next? All right, so next up we have a rematch between Asuka and Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. I actually missed that match. I only saw the ending part where I saw the double count out, but everyone said the match was not very good. So they had a better match on Raw. I really enjoyed the match on Raw. The match ends when Nia Jax goes for the Samoan drop, but Asuka has her leg under the rope. So the ref's like, yo, I can't count. She got her leg under there. So Nia gets mad, pushes the ref. Ref's like, yo, you can't do that. So he's about to disqualify her, and she's begging her because she's like, no, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. But then Asuka gets Nia Jax up for a roll-up. The ref does a fast count, 1, 2, 3. Asuka retains her championship. So obviously Nia can complain and say, hey, the ref screwed me. It could go both ways, because either way she was gonna lose, right? So yeah, it was a fast count, but he's about to disqualify her. So I'm sure she'll find some other way, and I'm sure Charlotte will find her way in, and we'll get a triple threat at Extreme Rules or something like that. And Charlotte will win, and then she'll be a 13-time world champion. And then I'm just gonna go, oh my god. So, not looking forward to that. And then finally, we have Randy Orton taking on Christian in the unsanctioned match. Here's the thing. So all night, the Big Show and Ric Flair try to talk Christian out of accepting and saying, you don't have anything to prove. You're a legend. You know you're going to be a Hall of Famer. You don't got to prove anything. But he's like, no, I got to do this. So they go up to the ring. Ric Flair comes out one more time and tries to say, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. But Christian's not having any of it. So the match bell rings. Christian gets low-blowed by Ric Flair, which leads to Randy Orton punting him. 1, 2, 3. Match over. Randy Orton's comforting him. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to do this, but you made me do this. And I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing from Randy Orton. It's really, really satisfying. He's been great since this feud started with him and Edge. So if he's going to be doing this whole legend killer thing again, I mean, if you call it Raw Talk, I didn't watch it, but I saw a clip. Big Show was calling him out. So I can see them having a match maybe at Extreme Rules. But at SummerSlam, I mean, who could he be? I mean, Edge isn't going to be ready in time, so he can't fight Edge. He's not going to fight Christian. Maybe John Cena, but do we really want to see John Cena versus Randy Orton again? No. Maybe Triple H, but we just saw that a couple years ago, last year I think too. So don't want to see that. Batista's retired. There's not that many legends left. You're not going to get Kane to come out because he's the mayor and they're going to need him during this time in crisis that we're in. So the only other person I can see maybe is The Undertaker. Maybe him and Randy Orton at SummerSlam. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that. You know, Undertaker coming out saying Orton needs to be put in his place. Wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But who knows? But overall, I thought Raw was very, very good. I give it a B. I enjoyed Raw very much. As you can see, I'm a bit rusty, and this is what happens when you procrastinate. You're just not as good as you used to be. Like, for example, I played basketball for the first time in a couple years yesterday, and my body hurts, still kind of hurts, and it's just like, oh, man, I'm not used to this, you know? But yeah, it's whatever. As I get back into the flow of things, I'll get much, much better. But until then, if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out. I might do another video later today, talking more about this Brandon Brooks thing, because that I'll talk more in depth about it then, because I got a lot more to say. So until then, peace out, guys.